In the weeks leading up to the Kentucky Derby, you're probably going to be hearing a lot about the Curse of Apollo. I just wanted to shoot this quick video to kind of explain to you all what the Curse of Apollo is all about. When you hear the name Apollo and you think of sports, what comes to mind? Well, let's talk about who Apollo is, or rather, who Apollo was. When I'm talking about the Curse of Apollo, I'm not talking about this Apollo. I'm talking about this Apollo. Apollo is the horse that won the Kentucky Derby way back in 1882. He's the only horse that has won the Kentucky Derby having not raced as a 2-year-old. So why does that matter in this year's Kentucky Derby? Well, first let's talk a little bit about the Curse of Apollo. The Curse of Apollo is one of the oldest curses in sports, and yet it is not an official curse. By that I mean the trainers that lost the Kentucky Derby back in 1882 to Apollo didn't all get together and say, we're going to put a curse on the Kentucky Derby, and no horse will ever win the Kentucky Derby unless they race as a 2-year-old. They call it a curse just because Apollo is the only horse that has ever won the Kentucky Derby having not raced as a 2-year-old. No horse since Apollo has done it. And since 1882, there have been over 60 horses that were unraced as 2-year-olds that have been entered in the Kentucky Derby. None of them have won it. So why does that matter in this year's Kentucky Derby? Well, there are 2 horses in the Derby this year that fall under the Curse of Apollo. So let's take a look at them. Here's one of the 2 horses, and this is the one that will probably go off as the favorite in the Kentucky Derby. This is Justify, trained by Bob Baffert, unraced as a 2-year-old. He is unbeaten in all of his races. His final Kentucky Derby prep race was the Santa Anita Derby. He came in first. So let's have a look at the second one. This is Magnum Moon, trained by Todd Pletcher. Also falls under the Curse of Apollo, unraced as a 2-year-old. He is also unbeaten. He won his final Kentucky Derby prep race, which was the Arkansas Derby that ran last Saturday. What's really going to be interesting in this year's Kentucky Derby is not just the Curse of Apollo, but let's imagine if one of these 2 horses breaks from the 17th post position. Not only will they be under the Curse of Apollo, they'll also be breaking from the 17th post, which has never seen a winner in the Kentucky Derby. So this year we could see the Curse of Apollo broken, and we could also see the curse of the dreaded 17th post position broken as well. It's going to be an interesting Kentucky Derby. I'm looking forward to it. A lot of good horses are going to be running this year. Of course, I will have my Kentucky Derby picks posted. I'll shoot a video of that. Had that up prior to the Kentucky Derby with all my handicapping information. So keep an eye out for that one. Thanks for watching.